Open the Server Manager. Click Change System Properties. Under the Computer Name tab, click Change. Change the computer name into Server 8. I am in Station 8, so the number added to the word server represents the station or work area where I am assigned, so I use Server 8. But if you are in Station 4, then you use Server 4. Click OK. Still click OK. Close, then restart now. Wait for the computer to restart. Type Ctrl-Alt-Delete on your keyboard, then input administrator password that you created in COC1. Access Server Manager, then check if the computer name is changed. Press Window R on your keyboard, then type DC Promo. Wait for the Active Directory Domain Services installation wizard to open. Choose Create a new domain in a new forest, then click Next. For the fully qualified domain name of the forest root domain, type peii.net, then click Next. Choose Windows Server 2008 R2, then click Next. Again, click Next. Create a password. I suggest you use the same password as the one you created in COC1 for Administrator. Click Next, then check the Reboot on the completion box. This way, your computer will automatically restart or reboot after ADDS configuration. Enter the password. See Server Manager and check if your computer is already in the domain peii.net. Computer name is changed and the server is already in domain peii.net. So we can now proceed to the next step, which is the creation of an organizational unit. Click the plus button beside roles, then the Active Directory Domain Services. Under it, click Active Directory Users and Computers, then click peii.net. Right-click peii.net. Point to New, then choose Organizational Unit. Type OU1, then click OK. Right-click on the OU1. Point to New, then this time choose User. Fill in the data needed below. If done, click Next. Then create a password. Again, I suggest that you use the same password you created from the very beginning to avoid confusion. Check the box next to Password Never Expires, then click Next. Take note of the username you created. This is what you would use later when we join the client PC and laptop to domain peii.net. In this video, I created 3 different users by following the same process. But during the assessment, you can just make 2 different usernames or accounts. One for the client PC and the other for the laptop. So here are the 3 users created. All of them have the same password. Now that I'm done creating an OU and users within that OU, I can now create a group policy for the users of such organization. First, click the plus button beside Features. Then, choose Group Policy Management. Under it, forestpeii.net, Domains, peii.net, then click OU1, which is the organizational unit recently created. Right-click on OU1, then select Create GPO in this domain and link it here. Rename the new GPO with GPM1, then click OK. The newly created GPO is not yet enforced, so click on GPM1, right-click, and select Enforced. After which, right-click again on GPM1 and select Edit. We will focus on the user configuration shown in the Group Policy Management Editor. First, click the plus button beside Policies. Under Policies, choose Windows Settings. Then look for Folder Redirection. This time, go to Windows or File Explorer and open the local disk C. Create a new folder in the local disk C and rename it into Folder Redirection or Folder R. Right-click on the newly created folder. Choose Properties. Now go to Sharing tab and click Share. Select Everyone and click Add. Change the permission level of everyone into Read or Write. Click Share, then Done. Next, click Advanced Sharing. Make sure to share this folder, then click Permissions and allow all choices including Full Control, Change, and Read, then click OK. Highlight the network path and copy by typing Ctrl-C on your keyboard, then click Close. Go back to the Group Policy Management Editor tab and select the desktop folder. Right-click on Desktop and click Properties. For the location, choose Basic Redirect everyone's folder to the same location. Then in the root path, paste or type Ctrl-V on your keyboard. Paste the network path that you have just copied. Still in Desktop Properties, click Settings, then uncheck the Grant Exclusive Rights to Desktop. By doing so, the server can access all the files that will be saved by the other client PCs in the desktop for as long as they are part of the domain peii.net. Click Apply, then OK. I also want to have access to all the files that will be saved in the Documents folder, so I'll just follow the same process. In the case of the downloads, I want the user to have exclusive rights to all the files that he has downloaded in the client PC he is using, and for the server PC not to access the downloaded files. So I leave the Grant Exclusive Rights to Downloads checked and click OK. Now it's time to create preferences. Click the plus button beside Preferences. Next, choose Windows Settings under it and then click Drive Maps. This time, open File Explorer and locate Local Disk D. Format Local Disk D. Share Local Disk D. Go to Properties, Sharing, Advanced Sharing, Share this folder, and allow permissions to everyone, then click Apply and OK. Highlight the network path of local disk D and copy, then click Close. Go back to Group Policy Management Editor. Right-click on Drive Maps. Point to New, then select Mapped Drive. In New Drive Properties, paste the network path you have just copied in the location. Next, choose any letter and select Show this drive. Click Apply, then OK. Creation of group policy management is done. At this point, I'll now proceed to adding roles and installation of DHCP server, print and document services, as well as remote desktop services. First, right-click on roles and select Add Roles. Hit Next. Select DHCP server, print and document services, and remote desktop services. Then click Next and Next. Check Remote Desktop Session Host and install. Then click Next and Next again. Select Do Not Require Network Level Authentication. Click Next. Choose Per User. Then click Next. Under User Groups, add all the users you created. Next, 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 next. In Preferred DNS Server IP4 address, type the IP address of the server PC and validate. If you forgot the IP address of your server PC, just access Command Prompt, then type ipconfig to see the IP address of the server. If valid, click Next and Next. Add DHCP scopes. For scope name, type the domain PEII.net, which is the fully qualified domain name that I have created. But if you created another, then use that. Set the range of IP addresses for wireless network with starting IP address as 192.168.8.100, while the ending IP address must be 192.168.8.110. All in all, there are a total of 11 devices which can connect to the wireless Wi-Fi. If the computer is connected to the router, you may type the default gateway. If not, leave it blank, then click OK. Click Next again and again until you see Install. Click Install to proceed to installation process. Wait for a while, then click Close. And restart the computer. As you can see, the loading icon isn't moving, and it's been like this for quite a long time now. If this happens in your computer too, press the reset button on the system unit. There you go. Configuration continues. Once the computer restarted, it resumed installation. Wait for a while until installation is complete. This time, I'll now connect or join the client PC to the domain PEII.net. To do this, open File Explorer. Right-click on this PC, then select Properties. Click Change Settings. Under Computer Name tab, click Change. Next, choose Domain. Type PEII.net and click OK. For the username, type Administrator, and below, enter the password created. Then click OK. Click Restart Now. While the client PC is restarting, we have to multitask. Let's go back to the server PC and access the DHCP server. DHCP is a protocol which automatically assigns the IP addresses and other configurations to devices once they connect to the network, and it depends on the range that has been set. In my case, if you recall, I set the starting IP address into 192.168.8.100, whereas the ending IP address is set to 192.168.8.110. To start with, click the plus button next to roles, then choose DHCP server, server8.peii.net, IPv4, scope, and click address leases, or to your station's Wi-Fi. Look for Wi-Fi, station 8A. Remember, this is what I created in COC2. Then enter the password. Once the device is already connected to the Wi-Fi, refresh the blank area in address leases and see if your device shows up. And of course, as you can see, the first device that has been connected to the Wi-Fi automatically receives the starting IP address, which is 192.168.8.100. Then the second device to connect, of course, will have an IP address of 192.168.8.101. Consequently, the last or the 11th device to connect to my station's Wi-Fi will automatically receive the ending IP address, which is 192.168.8.110. Now that the DHCP server is working properly, we can now connect the printer to the server PC, then deploy the server's printer within the group policy such that all the domain accounts signed into client and laptop can access and print the same document that I wish to print, even though these computers are far or remote from the printer. First, get the Epson L360 printer and connect it to the USB port of the server PC. Don't forget to turn it on. After which, go to Roles, then click the plus button beside the Print and Document Services, then Print Management. Under it, which is Custom Filters, lastly, All Printers. As you can see, no printer is detected yet. This is because we still haven't installed the printer driver. So let's access the bootable flash drive and install the L360 driver, which was one of the copied files during COC1. Right-click on L360 and select Run as Administrator. Click OK, OK, Agree, then OK again. Choose No USB connection, then click OK. Once the printer driver has been successfully installed, go back to Server Manager. Epson L360 series is already there. Right-click on the printer, then select Properties. Add on Server on the name, then go to Sharing tab, and make sure to share the printer. Next, right-click again on the printer, then this time select Deploy with Group Policy. Click Browse. then ou1.peii.net, then gpm1. Check the two boxes, then click Add. Click Apply and OK. I believe this time the client PC has already restarted, so let's go back there for a while. So as you notice, we are shifting from client PC to server PC because we have to multitask. This is to save time and of course so that you'll finish early during the assessment. Now let's click Other User and sign in using one of the two usernames or accounts that you have created in the first part of COC 3. So in my case, I created 3, so I'll just choose one among those 3. I'll sign in with the username ABBA123, then enter my password. Wait for a while for my account to sign in. Now I'm going to create a folder in the desktop. I'm going to rename it into ABBA123 files for easy identification. Then I'll create a Word document inside the ABBA123 files folder. I'll rename it into CSS and C2. Once I open the Word document, I'm going to type details such as the training program, other details such as the date, my name, computer name, work area or workstation where I am assigned, as well as the name of the assessor. Now that I already have the file ready to be printed, I can now start printing it in my server and client PC. Since you are already using the client PC this time, then you can start printing it. Type Ctrl P. As you can see, the printer is still not detected. This is because the client PC is not yet connected to the printer deployed by the server PC. To connect the client PC to the printer deployed by the server, press or click the Start button, then type \, another \, and the IP address of the server. Then click Enter. Double-click the Epson L360 series on Server 8 printer. Once connected, go back to the Word document, then try to print it again. Bingo! The printer on Server 8 is now detected. Since I'm done with it, I'll close all these tabs. The next thing that I'll do is start printing the file that I saved in the desktop of the client PC using the server PC. Remember, I created a policy that will grant the server the right to access whatever file saved by any client PC connected to the domain server8peii.net. So the server PC can access it in the local disk C, specifically in folder redirection. As you can see, the ABBA123 files folder is here, as well as the Word document CSS and C2. So I'm going to open it. I just have to type Ctrl P to print the document. As you can see, the printer name shows Epson L360 series on Server 8. Before working on the laptop, make sure that you have already allowed remote connection both in server as well as in client PC such that later, the domain account signed in the laptop can remotely connect to the client PC. To do this, open File Explorer. Right-click on this PC. Select Properties. Select Change Settings. Again, if you are asked to type for the username whenever you want to access something that needs permission, use Administrator as username, then enter the password. Find the Remote tab. Allow remote connections to this computer. Select Users. Add Administrator as well as the other user that you'll sign in the laptop. Then click OK. Since both the server and the client PC have allowed remote connection to all domain accounts, then I can now start working on the laptop. First thing to do is to connect the laptop to the station's Wi-Fi. This is the network name that I created in COC 2, if you may recall, for wireless connection. Enter the password. Make sure that the IPv4 of the laptop is dynamic and contains the preferred DNS server. So to do this, open Network and Sharing Center. Click on Change Adapter Settings. Select Wireless Network Connection. Click Properties, then double-click on Internet Protocol version 4. Unlike the server and the client PC, the laptop is dynamic. So just choose Obtain an IP address automatically, then below, make sure to fill in the preferred DNS server with the IP address of the server PC. I am on station 8, so I'll type 192.168.8.10, then click OK. Now I'll join the laptop to domain PEII.net. To do this, open File Explorer. Right-click on Computer. Then select Properties. Click Change Settings. Under Computer Name tab, click Changed. Next, choose Domain and type PEII.net. This is the fully qualified domain name which I created, then click OK. When Windows Security dialog box pops up, again for username, type Administrator, then enter the password. Wait for a while. Now, the laptop has been successfully connected to the domain PEII.net. Just click OK, close, then you'll be advised to restart the computer. So click Restart Now. However, if you failed to edit the preferred DNS server in IPv4 beforehand, you'll see this dialog box. So all you have to do is go back to IPv4, change the preferred DNS server, and make sure that it is the IP address of your server PC. After which, try again to connect to the domain PEII.net. Enter the administrator's password. This time, I'll check again if the laptop is still connected to my station's Wi-Fi. Since it is still, I can now sign in the other user that I created. To do this, I'll just type Ctrl-Alt-Delete, then I would select Switch User. Ctrl-Alt-Delete again, then this time, I'll choose Other User. I'll enter Edgar123. This is the other user or account that I have created a while ago. Enter the password. Click or press the Start button, then type Remote Desktop Connection. Then for the computer, type the IP address of the client PC, the one which the ABA123 is signed in. It's 192.168.8.20. Then click Connect. For Windows security, again, only the administrator has the right to permit or allow changes in computer. So I'll choose Other User, then type administrator in username, then enter the password. Click Yes. Then click Yes again. As you can see on top, the IP address of the client PC where my other account ABBA123 is signed in is accessed remotely using this laptop. This only means that I am remotely accessing the client PC using this laptop. Now I want to access the file that I created in the client PC and print it here using this laptop. I'll just click or press the Start button, then type backslash, another backslash, and next is the IP address of the server PC, because as we recall, only the server PC has the right to access the files that has been saved in the desktop of the client PC. So I have to connect first the laptop to the printer deployed by the server 8. Once connected, I will access the folder redirection and choose the Other User ABBA123, which is signed in to the client PC. So I'll choose desktop because it is where I created the folder ABBA123 files. Then I'll open CSS and C2 document. Ta-da! Now, I'll try to print this document. As you can see, since the laptop is already connected to the printer on server 8, it is automatically reflected here. This is what the assessor would want to see, so make sure that your printer is properly deployed and connected to the server, client PC, as well as the laptop. This time, let's disconnect the remote desktop service session on your laptop so that it will be signed in again as Edgar123. For the last step, make sure that both the client PC and the laptop will be disconnected to the domain PEII.net and be back to workgroup. To do this, go to File Explorer, right-click on Computer to Laptop and this PC for Client PC, then select Properties. Go to Advanced System Settings. For username, it will be Administrator, then enter the password. Find the Computer Name tab. Click Change, select Workgroup, and then type Workgroup. It must be all in capital letter. The computers are already back again to Workgroup. Then we have to restart them. You'll know if the client PC is back to workgroup if you can now see the assessment files folder